Let's go ahead and dive into it. Let's not waste any time. I'm not gonna read chat. I don't want spoilers, so we're gonna go in like kind of YouTube mode because I also, if it's good, make a YouTube video out of it. All right, so we're going to dive into the Crucible part of this TWAB. Just be aware, I'm going to be real and honest. Some of my opinions may not align with the opinions of yours, and that's okay. But I've been playing the game for many years, so some things might hype me up, some things I will question, and other things I will be let down by. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it. Hopefully it's a nice read. The Crucible in the future. Today we'll be digging into what the Crucible is for Destiny 2. Philosophies behind things like quick play and ranked will be explained. We'll be speaking out quite a few general changes we're making as part of our upkeep. Some of these sections will be dense, others will be a breeze of bulleted lists and passionate previews. If you're not into deep diving, here's a quick bulleted summary for you. We define our goals for the Crucible ecosystem. We're updating our Crucible playlist structure to streamline our Crucible offerings and help focus our Crucible population. They're going to collapse Control and Clash into a single quick play playlist. That's big. That's big. I like Clash a lot, and it was definitely heartbreaking that I had to wait for it to pop up in the weekly rotation for me to play it. Sometimes you need a break from having to play the zones and just slay out. Bringing some of our lesser played game modes into the weekly rotators. Alright, so they're just gonna get collapsed. We're introducing a new Crucible seal and bringing engram focusing to Lord Shacks to give players more ways to engage with Crucible rewards. Alright, finally getting a Crucible seal besides Unbroken, and I suppose the Flawless seal also counts. And Lightfall will be expanding engram focusing to include older weapons and armor sets across Crucible, Iron Banner, Trials, and more. Be able to access the previous weapons, I like that. In Season 19, Iron Banner gets a new mode and a legacy armor set the veteran Guardians should recognize. Are we talking about like a Destiny 2 legacy armor set? Or am I just getting my hopes up too much that's going to be like a Destiny 1 cracked out Iron Banner set? Given that they brought back Rift, I enjoyed it. And Eruption was a huge success in my opinion, really fun mode. I am actually getting my hopes up for this new Iron Banner mode, so let's see what it's all about here in a minute. We're updating our matchmaking techniques between skill connection and team sizes to provide better experiences in Crucible. This starts with quick play and will roll out to more playlists over time. We're also tuning quitter suspension parameters for quick play. The big key here is team sizes. Thank goodness, man. If you're a solo player like me, we are sick and tired of constantly being matched against 6 stacks, teams of 4. It's just an unfair advantage they get. We're pretty much just kind of like fodder, you know, we're just there like dregs. Like, we have no chance of winning solo versus 6 stacks. But, you know, the cons are going to be that people that want to play with friends in their 6 stacks might start getting longer queue times and sweatier games because they're going to be playing other 6 stacks as well. They got to get the balance right, correct? I have to say though, freelance on the right modes has been a blast, like Iron Banner, Survival, and even in Trials. We're testing new matchmaking techniques in Trials to hopefully provide better experience to solo and duo fire teams without the need for freelance. There we go. So, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like they're going to give people what they exactly wanted, which was freelance permanently, but they're going to try to give you the middle ground. Because if you're curious as to why freelance isn't just permanent, my guess, it's just a guess, doesn't have to be correct, is that their vision for Trials, given what they said in the past, it's a mode where you're supposed to go in with your full team and compete against another team. They didn't envision it as something where it's just random players versus random players. But also, in the same time, it's not something they envision, a stacked team of 3 versus 3 random solos, right? This way, maybe you'll be better. I hope it is. If you're playing solo queue, maybe you'll match more solo queue teams and stuff like that, which will be nice. This will help us in reassessing the Flawless Bowl for Season 20 and beyond. Interesting. So, by reassessing, I mean they're going to be considering removing Flawless Pool or just making some adjustments. I'm kind of neutral on this because I've liked Flawless Pool, but I've also not liked it at the same time. I like it when there's a lot of players around, and it doesn't feel super small population, and you're matching the same stream snipers or the same teams over and over. Even though they might be good games, they do get kind of boring and repetitive. Destiny 2 PvP, for the most part, I feel like people like playing just different stuff every game, a different build, you know, not the same Lemon Arc player every match, right? We're bringing more maps to the Crucible over the next year. All right. Hopefully, this means more than like, what did we get this year? 3 to 4. Hopefully, it means more than that because I remember Joe said, Mama, that they were starting to open the Valve, right? So that they could get more content going in for Crucible. And please tell me we're finally seeing that now. 2 maps are returning from the earlier years of Destiny 2. Okay, this is not that exciting for me because I'm not a big fan of Destiny 2 maps. And the maps that are in the DCV or been removed, there's a reason for that. Because they were not that popular in the game. So if we're getting Citadel, or Firebase Echo come to return, you're probably just bringing them back for the community to ask for them to be removed once again. But there are some maps I think they have a chance of actually being decent in Crucible because there is one that I've seen people request to return, and that is Retribution, the Donut Hell. It's really close range, but my goodness, it was fun. You're thinking shotguns, ability spam, and whatever. Me too. But for whatever reason, it worked. It felt really fun. So that's one map I can think of that actually might be pretty good. Another one, potentially Emperor's Respite. I'm curious how that would play in this, new sandbox, new meta that we have. Definitely better than year 1 Destiny 2 with the double primaries and like 0 movement. All right, so that's 2 maps. A brand new map is being added during the year of Lightfall. Okay, so it's not confirmed that we're only getting 3, but I can take a, pretty educated guess that it's only going to be 3 next year. If if I'm looking at the keywords here, over the next year, added during the year of Lightfall. So, when I see year of Lightfall, that's like when Lightfall drops in February, all the way until the next time that we get the next expansion. So, kind of disheartening to see. Hopefully, it's not what I'm thinking. This is one of those situations where I rather not get my hopes up and just kind of assume the worst because of what we've seen in the past. 3 maps, 2 returning maps from Destiny 2. Not that hype. Brand new map. Look forward to it. Hopefully, it looks like the theme that we're going for in the Lightfall stuff. Retro, cyberpunk-ish, whatever it is. We're introducing a competitive division to act as a ranked Crucible space for players seeking to test their skill. Hey, yo! As a hardcore PvP player, some of the days that I remember close to heart that I had a lot of fun with in Destiny 2 was definitely the competitive glory days when teams gathered together to fight other teams trying to race to Legend Max rank, but it was more to race for the Luna's Howl or the Not Forgotten, whichever new pinnacle weapon was existing at the time. Those days felt eventful, and I miss those. This ranked mode. What's the difference between competitive division and the survival playlist now? I need to read more details. Otherwise, to me, it's just like renaming survival. Because that's exactly what they did with competitive. It was competitive, renamed to survival. The skill-based matchmaking was weird. Let's put it that way. If you were the best player in the lobby of 6, you would get like the 2 pretty much lesser skilled players on your team, and the balance just wouldn't fit, in my honest opinion. Then the loot was lacking, which resulted in people not having an incentive to grind the competitive survival mode. What modes as well, right? That's a big one. Is it just going to be survival again? Lots of questions to be asked. Hopefully they answer it as I keep reading. But just first impression, these words right here, they tickle my brain. I'm excited for that. All right, still here, sweet. The following changes have been developed by the team dedicated to Destiny 2's ritual modes. What started with our Trials revamp many seasons ago has become a fun development cycle that now spans multiple rituals. We've been focusing on given activities, Gambit, Iron Banner, and now Crucible, during seasonal development to revisit and reset our goals and address player feedback. For Crucible, there's quite a bit on the table, and it's always a multi-part conversation. In early December, we'll have sandbox and balance information. I'm looking forward to that more right now than I am to what I saw personally. What I read above seems pretty good, but that sandbox and balance information is really what I care about because I miss more of the primary gameplay. I feel like we're getting further and further away from that 30th anniversary update that we had with the gameplay primary stuff feeling, more important than chucking a nade, chucking the melee, chucking the nade, doing dodge, popping the barricade rift, man. You know what I'm saying? Today we'll be talking about playlist modes and places you play. Without further ado, let's get to it. All right, here we go. Player experience goals. Development team. As a part of our continuing evolution of Destiny, we like to revisit various aspects of the game to see how well they fit with the rest of the game. To help give some context to changes we're making to the competitive ecosystem, we would like to lay out our thoughts on the overall philosophy, our player experience goals, and how different aspects of the Crucible fit together. Casual Crucible, quick play, rotators, and labs. So this is what they considered casual. It's quick play, rotators, which is mayhem, momentum, stuff like that, right? And labs, which is zone control. And then they go even more into detail of what makes a casual Crucible. You find a fair game. Okay. So that's given by the skill-based matchmaking. You make friends and stay as long as you're having fun. I would say I agree for the most part. The fair game mixed with casual Crucible, like fair game when I'm reading it, yeah, that makes sense. But then, unfortunately, the way it's introduced, it's skill based, and then it doesn't make it. You make friends, and then you're not having fun. Anyways, not more I can say there. I agree with it. Real life comparison, pickup games at the gym. Wait, there's pickup games at the gym? What kind of pickup games are at the gym, chat? Have I been missing out my entire life? I've gone to the gym before. There's no pickup games. I've been working out at home for like the past 6 months. You're telling me I could have been going to the gym and playing pickup games with the homies? Oh yeah, dude. Let's go ahead and see who can rep 5 of these weights faster than each other. All right, you ready? Not a good way to compare it, in my opinion, because I don't get it. And I think most people won't get it. We're gamers, bro. You think we touch the gym? Iron Banner. Week-long celebration of PvP in Destiny that draws in everyone. And I feel like they succeeded with the new changes they made to Iron Banner, removing the light level, the power level. I feel like it has drawn in several people. I see like new lights, newbies, people with not crazy builds. Real life comparison. Exhibition play at a block party. Alright. Trials of Osiris. Prove your skill and build against worthy rivals. Real life comparison. High stakes pro am tournaments. Alright. It's an interesting way they see Trials of Osiris, but the reality of it is, I feel like it's kind of far away from what it actually is, you know? This is where you think it is, but in reality, this is where it's at, right? It's like somewhere completely different. They say high stakes pro AM tournaments. The biggest flaw with this that Bungie needs to understand is that, unfortunately for them, I feel like Trials, maybe I'm speaking just because, I have the content creator perspective that doesn't actually represent what the real Trials is. But I feel like Trials has turned into just a glorified carry mode where the players, the long-term players that do Trials, they do it because they can't find an incentive to grind Crucible for many hours anywhere else except for Trials, because the incentive is to take somebody flawless. There's a demand for the Trials Lighthouse, and when you're a top player that wants something to do, you feel like I can meet that demand. That gives me something to do. It's fun, and people like watching it, and it's pretty solid gameplay. I get to flex, I get to chat, I get to community build. The high stakes pro am tournaments, I will say the only time that I experience that, and it disappears completely afterwards, is during the Friday reset first Trials card. I've been doing this tradition for years now. Since the first introduction of Trials of Osiris in Destiny 2, I've been doing my first Trials card at reset uploads on the YouTube channel, because those are the high stakes pro am tournaments, being featuring several different content creators. Some I stick with for a long time, some I shuffle out, but it's all chasing that high stakes pro am tournament. And after that, I feel like it doesn't happen anymore. So hopefully some changes can happen to continue to meet that. But for now, it's a little bit laughable to call it a high stakes pro am tournament. Now, I'm going to step outside the box and consider the fact that I guess for the average player, it is indeed a Pro AM tournament because they have to get 7 wins. So the whole time you're competing through a bracket, like, right? And then you make it to the end. Boom. The take I have, I guess, is just, you know, my own take. Might not really agree with it. Ranked play. All right. How do they define ranked play? Fair matches, of course. We want fair matches, which unfortunately in survival, solo queuing, if we're talking freelance, is not fair matches. I touched on the subject earlier before, but whatever system they have to split the players into teams is, in my opinion, flawed. Let's go 1 through 6, right? 1 being the best, 6 being the lesser skilled player. They take the number 1 player, they put it on one team, and then they put like maybe 5 and 6 or 4 and 6 with number 1, and then they put the rest on the second team. And that is not fair. That doesn't work. I don't know why. In Destiny 2, I guess it's the abilities, the cheese, right? The ways to like close the skill gap or to make a skilled player, number 1, less effective at doing what they're doing. It's just too easy in this game that it makes an unfair match, in my honest opinion. You measure yourself, growth you can see and feel. Okay. Stakes are always high. Real life comparison, a local recreational league. Alright. And unfortunately, the growth has not been felt in survival. The stakes in survival do not feel that high at all. I feel like people don't respect the ranked, the badges in survival. I would say nothing really matters until you get mythic and legend. People don't flex like any badges, or they don't like try to say, hey, I'm this rank, right? There's none of that like terminology being used. Private match, make the game you want, play with your friends, and stay as long as you're having fun. Game night with friends. And I am actually pretty passionate about this right here, this bullet point. In my honest opinion, 1 through 10, 10 being they're succeeding at what they're doing, I think they're at a 1 with a private match. Maybe that's a little bit too rough. Let's go with a 3. Private matches have been not updated for the longest time. One could say it's pretty bare bones, just, you know, bare minimum private match. Where are the extra options? Where are these settings to be more creative, create more of a custom game in these private matches for it to properly feel like a game night with friends? Because right now, for many years since Destiny 1, it has not reached that point, and I feel like they're missing a huge opportunity right there. Because, my goodness, I'm not creative enough to come up with something on the spot right now, but imagine if you could make settings, adjust them so that if you're playing Rift 3v3 and then you spawn 3 rifts across the map and then boom, you're fighting against each other. You know, some things that are just not the norm when it comes to the modes that you already know. With these definitions in mind, let's get into the thick of it. Wait. That wasn't the thick? To help us achieve our goals, we have numerous changes planned for Season 19 and beyond. Yo, I better start reading faster. Season 19 playlist updates. We began our journey of Crucible updates with a long look at what the current offerings are in Destiny 2. There are objective modes like Control, elimination-centric modes like Clash, and competitive modes like Survival, Elimination, or Showdown. When going through the experience and looking at back-end data, we felt it would be best to streamline some of these offerings and help focus players on specific playlist offerings while meeting our player experience goals that were listed above. Starting in Season 19, the Crucible screen will have the following options. Quick Play 6v6. This is now a playlist with both Clash and Control, which we saw in the TLDR, uses loose, skill-based matchmaking and lobby balancing, which we have tuned during Season 18. Weekly Rotator 6v6 free-for-all. Rotates weekly between Momentum, Control, Mayhem, Team Scorch, Rift, and Rumble. Oh, damn. Rest in peace, all the Rumble content creators dodging skill base. I was just recently thinking of doing more Rumble games because they were so chill. AKA, you know, connection-based matchmaking easy mode. But I guess I'll reconsider now. Use purely connection-based matchmaking. Competitive division, freelance 3v3. Oh, here we go, the goods. What's up? This is now a playlist randomly picking Survival, Rift, or Showdown. Is that good? Survival? It's a pass. Showdown, I do not remember enough of the mode to say whether or not that's a W. But I feel like I made a video on it once, and I had a good experience with it that I wouldn't mind seeing it more often. So hopefully it's good. Rift is a tricky one. I'm excited for it though. It's OBJ. I'm actually really excited for the objective in Rift. I can't remember the last time we've had like this super intense like objective based mode in Destiny that like it just gets your blood going and you get a clutch like objective score. Rift might be that, finally giving us that taste that Destiny 2 PvP should have had for a long time. The closest thing to objective sweaty modes that I can think of, if you're a vet player, you may remember Salvage from Destiny 1. They had like these hard point areas around the map. You stood next to this like let's say object and you could capture it, right? The whole time you have to slay around, can't let people capture it. These modes showcase a variety of playstyle designed to show how good you really are. Oh yeah? Oh yeah? Uses a new skill-based matchmaking setting built using concepts we developed for loose skill-based matchmaking tuning, but tightened to match you more closely against opponents of your skill. So a new skill base. Now it sounds more promising, because previously I was mentioning how the matchmaking was a little bit flawed in survival, but they mentioned a new skill base, which means that hopefully it's an improvement. Crucible Labs. During Season 19, Labs is showcasing 3v3 Rift with asymmetric maps. That's going to be fun. Crucible Labs is going to be connection-based matchmaking. Oh, it's going to have a stacking 25% reputation booster. Casuals are like, I'm going. And it has connection-based matchmaking. Content creators are like, ah, shit, it's time to eat, baby. I hear content. Private match. This will continue to act as your place to train up in a given mode, play against your friends, host small tournaments, or mess with activity settings like silly modes. So unfortunately, much of what I said previously about the private matches still holds true here. They don't have much to share at all, if anything. The Crucible screen will also update during limited time PvP events. When Trials is active, it replaces Crucible Labs. Trials use a ticket-based matchmaking in the Flawless Bowl, though we have some news on that below too. When Iron Banner is active, it replaces the Quick Play node. Iron Banner is going to be moving to loose skill-based matchmaking during Season 19. Oh shit, okay. I accept it. I think it's fine, especially because we have freelance. So this is a big, interesting change right here. That's a power move. I like that a lot. It's a smart move because, believe it or not, even when Iron Banner is out, people are in quick play. Some avoiding the matchmaking systems in Iron Banner. Some just don't care about the mode. It seems like now you have no choice. If Iron Banner's out, that's the event. You got to play Iron Banner, right? Speaking from a content creator perspective, though, this is a little bit problematic that I'm gonna have to think some strats about, because if I want to make a normal video during the week of Iron Banner, but I can't play quick play, it means that I have to do my content inside of Eruption, Rift. If I want to showcase a weapon, I feel like I wouldn't be that successful in doing it in these goofy modes, especially like Eruption is like abilities, supers. So there's gonna be some adapting having to be done from my, point of view. Here's an example image of what the Crucible Director will look like during an Iron Banner week with Rumble as the featured weekly rotator mode. All right, so competitive in the center, Iron Banner on the right, Crucible Labs left, Rumble private match. Pretty clean, right? Is quick play going to be on the right side? Are they funneling the major attention to the center? Because when I look at this image, it's like it's all the focal point to me is like it's just all taking me into the competitive mode. Let's keep reading. Let's talk strategy and a bit about player populations. We have a few analytics we like to look at to determine playlist health, average daily and weekly concurrent players, as well as weekly playtime per player in these playlists. It's a lot of P's. So in Iron Banner, population is high and the players are playing a long time. In Control, population is high, players are playing less than they do in Iron Banner. It's medium. Trials of Osiris, not that populated as Control and Iron Banner, but the playtime per player is much higher. Of course, as I mentioned before, the high incentive of people wanting to do like the glorified Trials carries results in players playing a lot more because they actually have an incentive to continue playing Trials, right? And in Control, it's like most of us just play as like, I don't know why I should play Control. What am I grinding for? What am I playing for? But at least I can make an argument as to why I would play Trials. In Survival, medium population, medium playtime. Mayhem, wow, really high population, below playtime. So this is where, you know, of course, a lot of the casual players or people that love the ability spam PvE guys probably dive into. You know, the guys that like to play maybe like 3 matches a week, or they do really enjoy these type of modes. Because there's another one to back up that fact. The momentum is high below playtime per player. Private match, medium to low, medium. That's pretty sad. Private match should be on high, man. Like, I feel like there's an opportunity there. Elimination, medium to low, low playtime. Scorched, varies. Yeah, bro. Clash, varies. Yeah, bro. Rumble, low. Showdown, low. Wow. Interesting move they're making, though. Adding Showdown to the competitive division mode, given that it's a low average population mode and low playtime per player. People don't seem to really care about it, but whatever. To no surprise, the champions of both number of daily, weekly players and or playtime per player are Iron Banner, Control, and Trials. Glorious Survival gets a decent population and strong time per player. Rotators are a mixed bag. Momentum, Control, and Mayhem get lots of players the weeks they are active, but don't come close to getting as much playtime as other offerings. Clash and Scorch do better or worse depending on the season and weekly offerings. Finally, we get to the always on options, Elimination, Rumble, and Private Match. You would think, since private matches offer no intrinsic rewards, drops, bounties, etc., it would have the fewest players and the least playtime, but you would be wrong. Very wrong. With the findings above, we've decided to move some modes around. We heard from players that they generally enjoy Clash and would love to see it more often, so we created the Quick Play playlist to feature both Control and Clash. To help focus player populations and invite more players to engage in the solo Crucible combat or Rumble, we'll be moving this mode to our weekly rotator playlist a few times a season. Elimination will be unique to Trials of Osiris, or private match that players would like to practice, and Showdown has been moved to the competitive division playlist to give some variety as players climb the new divisions. Okay, what is this new divisions? Climb new divisions. Again, I still don't know anything. It just might be like the basic stuff that we saw Survival. They might just rename it. I don't know what exactly they're changing yet. As always, we'll be monitoring the experience, conversation, and data as these refreshed playlists roll out. Nothing is set in stone, and we're excited to see how these evolve over time. Let's talk Crucible rewards. Starting in Season 19, players will have new triumphs and new title to chase. When creating this new title, we had many goals centered around ways for players to express their Crucible prowess. Slaying enemies, capturing objectives, and even climbing through some of the divisions of our new competitive division, there it is again, which we speak to in depth towards the end of our Crucible write-off. Oh, take me to that part. When it comes to gilding, we've taken a pass on the requirements for Unbroken to relieve stress. Win streaks and reaching specific glory thresholds over multiple seasons are no longer required. We will be challenging you to win a number of matches during a given season and reach the Adept division. That again. For gilding, but all of this can be accomplished within a single season. If you see someone with a gilded glorious, you know they are the best of the best. Oh yeah, bro? Starting in Season 19, Lord Shaxx will offer the ability for players to focus Crucible weapons and armor. Crucible will be the 4th of the core rituals to get comprehensive engram focusing options, helping players target specific pieces of gear they've been hunting. Crucible engrams will be virtual currency and live exclusively on the rank progress bar on the Lord Shaxx. Crucible engrams may be opened individually by players directly on Shaxx. You can focus the Crucible engram directly into either Crucible armor or Crucible weapons, W. So here's what it costs. One Crucible engram is 10k glimmer and 50 legendary shards. I'm poor! I'm getting poor! I'm at like 4k shards. I can't do this anymore. Crucible engrams do not need to be claimed in order to be spent on focusing. Oh! Individual pieces of gear must have been acquired at least once prior to being available for focusing. Alright, so you gotta unlock it. Crucible armor set available for focusing in Season 19. Clutch Extol set. Alright, no pictures of this yet, I suppose. Crucible weapons available for focusing. We got the Stars and Shadow Pulse Rifle. Solid choice. Keening solid. Frozen Orbit solid. Survivor's Epitaph. 180 Hand Cannon, not solid. Sarah's Verse. What is that? Crisis Inverted Hand Cannon solid. Riptide really solid. PvE gamers get that. Out of balance PvE, PvP solid. Brand new Crucible weapons are only available as drops during their introductory season and then available for focusing the full. Oh! So when they got a brand new gun, you cannot focus it. It's going to be random roll. Keep that in mind. Shax is using a new engram system that lets us use the engram store directly on the vendor for focusing, rather than needing to pull it into your engram inventory. Making this change is more convenient for you and let us more easily shift the main cost burden from lots of legendary shards and glimmer to multiple engrams. Wow, the current costs are similar to Gambit's. Expect a larger focusing rebalancing pass with lightfall, as well as all the ritual vendors converted into this new system. Additionally, we'll be looking at ways for players to earn older Crucible armor sets through focusing in Season 20 when Lightfall releases. We previously announced legacy focusing for Trials, Nightfalls, and Iron Banner, and this applies to armor sets as well. If you've been asking for the return of the Exile armor set or eyeballing some older Iron Banner pieces, we're looking forward to having those available once more. Ah, okay. So they're going to give you ways to obtain the previous armor. Introducing Iron Banner Fortress. What is this? Back in Season of the Haunted, Saladin re-established the Iron Banner as the twice-a-season PvP celebration for everyone. Guardians from all around wear their flaming Iron Banner armor, except for me, and compete for the love of competition. Since then, we have brought Rift into Destiny 2 and introduced our first new mode since Team Scorched, Iron Banner Eruption. How long has it been? Since we've actually been introduced to a new mode. Wow, too long. We want to continue this tradition of introducing unique spins on existing modes. For Season 19, let us introduce to you Iron Banner Fortress. What is it? In Iron Banner Fortress, the core gameplay is capturing and holding zones. There better be more to this. More zones? If that sounds like zone control, you'd be right. The real fun begins when Kaito gets involved. Wait, Kaito is going to get involved, apparently. We'll leave some of this for you to experience firsthand when Iron Banner Fortress launches on January 3, 2023. Let's just say a few of you may be dying to Kappa Hill. So they give us an image. What can I dissect from this? Wait, those are the turrets, like the Cabal turrets? There's a zone thing? Hey, yo! We're gonna fight PvE ads in Crucible. I'm down to try this. It's Gambit 2.0, man. In Season 19, players can expect a few returning Iron Banner weapons not seen since the earlier days of Destiny 2. If auto rifles or slug shotguns are your thing, they're not. Saladin has something special for you. Updated with random rolls, fresh perks from the last few seasons, and the Iron Banner origin trait. We're looking forward to seeing what rolls you chase. That's not all. It's been about a year since our last Iron Banner armor refresh. We've seen some wonderful themes throughout the years, inspirations drawn from ages past, focused on the looks of a true warrior. This year we'll be returning to the fan favorite sets coming from an era of taking... Yeah. That's what they meant. The vets will know the Iron Banner armor. I was scared, man. I was like, nah, it's gonna be a Destiny 2 armor set that's poopy. But they brought back this armor set. Oh, shit. Just when I was losing interest in grinding for armor in Destiny 2, here comes Bungie saying, Destiny. We're expecting these to be a fun complement to many sets in the game and looking forward to your fashion statements coming out of Iron Banner next season. Oh, this is next season. New matchmaking techniques, fire team based matchmaking. Starting in the first week of Season 19, we will be testing a new quick play matchmaking parameter that should excite many of you. Fire team based matchmaking at a high concept, FBMM, means that your fire team's makeup should match your opponents. If you join a matchmaking queue as a full team of 6, you should generally match against another full fire team. Depending on how long you wait in matchmaking, it might start a match against fire team of 5+ or solo. If you wait longer, you might start against a fire team of 4+ in a duo. If you're a smaller fire team, you may match with a larger fire team against 2 fire teams of similar sizes, or against all smaller fire teams. As with all of our other matchmaking parameters, FBMM can be as loose or strict as we want. For quick play, we will be fairly generous, allowing slightly mismatched fire teams if skill is similar and connections are fast. That's huge. Yes, I am so down. In the TLDR, we saw a little bit of information about the the fire team stuff, I am super down for this. You don't understand. I basically spend most of my time playing control, quick play, and this is going to be a huge improvement to the experience overall, like long term, and just how much you play throughout the day. Not having to play, 6 stacks of your solo queue. And this is not just a me thing either, because a lot of casual players are also solo players. There's many solo players, man. Give it up for the solo players, dual players. Like, that experience is just going to increase a lot more. Once we have ample time to test these matchmaking settings, we're planning to roll out to more playlists, Iron Banner trials, and more. As next season starts just before a holiday period, we'll be taking a bit of time to make sure things are solid. Expect more news and updates in January. This fire team stuff is a big change. This is, let's say we have a couple like boxes. In one box we have sandbox changes, balance changes, that involves like playing the game, primaries, whatever. Next box is like modes and just random stuff. It's like, you probably don't think it's just as important. I would put the fire team based matchmaking in the box of the most important stuff. I think it's a big deal, and I'm looking forward to it. Improving connection at the high end. Over the last season, we've been monitoring and adjusting the skill-based settings that were applied to quick play. While we're seeing better matches for many players, we're also seeing issues with player connections when getting into higher skill bands. To address this, we're planning to roll out a second new matchmaking feature. Yes, our programmers and tech designers have been busy, called dynamic skill ranges. Okay, what? At a high level, this feature increases the skill window our systems looks for when matchmaking if you're in a low population skill bracket or doing a particularly low population time. The intention here is to increase the window enough to give those playing at a low population times additional good connections to choose from without harming the skill balance significantly. This is the next step in our evolution of loose skill base that we introduced in Season 18. On paper, it sounds good. Whether you're a fan of skill base or not, you should be happy at the fact that it's being evolved and continue to be improved on to make it work, to make it better for those that have problems. Because they understand that, yeah, it may seem like the skill-based players at the high end hate playing against good players, but there is a good chunk, if not majority of them, as acknowledged by Bungie, that are just not getting good queue times, good connections in their lobbies. And that's really important. Due to timing holidays, we hope to roll out dynamic skill ranges sometime in January, but we expect it to significantly increase connection qualities in matches for the high skill players in control. We don't want to set a firm date yet, but we'll have more information as we get closer to the TWAB. Pushing until the thing goes live. Quitter suspensions, all right. To be honest, it seems like the people that have a loud voice are really passionate about the quitter suspension penalty. But personally, I could care less. It's not that big of a deal. It only really bothers me if I get this junction and I get it back to back and I kind of don't want to play it, so I have to leave. And then I get it again and then I'm just like, okay. Then it's a problem. It's just like small situations. But other than that, I really don't see myself quitting that often. As much as I would want to against a 6 stack or so, but I'm aware there's probably like a bunch of other issues that people probably have to go walk their fish outside, the microwave just started ringing, it's like, oh, my food is ready, right? So things to keep in mind, I suppose. During Season 18's rollout of skill base, we applied our competitive quitter penalty to the quick play playlist to help ensure that all skill brackets were getting a fair, complete matches. Though it was done as an emergency measure, we eventually made it so that Quick Play had its own quitter tracking system and didn't share the one we use with competitive and trials. So in case you weren't aware, if you left Quick Play and you got a suspension penalty, I think this applied to the survival playlist as well because they were like shared, and it was weird because you were like, where do I go? So these are the changes we're making for Season 19. They lower the amount of suspension time handed out for serial quitting in the Quick Play playlist. So we can expect sometime from like 30 minutes, maybe down to 15, that's my guess. Added the amount of time remaining to all suspension messages and made the message trigger when clicking on the note. If you want to know how much time you have left before you can play again, the information is now available. Good change, good change. As we continue to roll out both of the new matchmaking techniques, which addresses many of the players' feedback surrounding skill-based and quick play, we will be re-evaluating the need for a quitter penalty in quick play at all. Nice. So this seems kind of like a band-aid for an issue right now that they're trying to fix with the skill-based matchmaking. Maybe one day we'll see where you can quit without having any penalties. As always, we enjoy being transparent about our matchmaking changes. Expect notifications from our awesome supporting community teams on various social channels when and if we make updates to matchmaking for any node. Trials of Osiris, alright, big one right here, let's see what's up. While Season 19 has much of its focus on general Crucible playlists, matchmaking, and the introduction of competitive division, there it is again. We do have some upkeep planned for Trials of Osiris. For starters, we're following tradition with 2 new weapon rewards for players to hunt for. Good. Whether you're hungry for a base model or the Fabled Adept variant, we have a new machine gun and a 140 hand cannon up for grabs. Let's go! Trials is gonna be juicing on the weekends when the hand cannon comes out, baby. What was the last hand cannon we had? Igneous Hammer, right? A machine gun? Not passed, but I don't know. I think they are considering reworking machine guns, if I remember correctly, so they are actually more viable inside of PvP. Might be wrong about that, but I think I remember reading something about that in a past TWAB. 140 hand cannon. Any guesses? A new design? Or maybe a previous existing design like the Jewel of Osiris in Destiny 1? And we'll have to wait and find out. This is where I'd show you an example image of Same 14 vendor screen, but we don't want to spoil any gear, icon, watermarks for the new season just yet. Come on, man. I wanted to see it. Additionally, we're looking to add FBMM into Trials of Osiris in the future by introducing these matchmaking changes to the playlist. We're looking to provide a larger sense of fairness for smaller fire teams and eliminate the need for a freelance mode. Solos can match solos or fill in for teams for duos. Fire teams of 3 will match fire teams of 3. While we won't have changes to the flawless pool for Season 19, we are working on a new paradigm that removes the flawless pool but still provides protection for players working on Trials reputation rewards. Wow. Bungie really is listening to community feedback. You know, some of the major pain points seems like it's taken a while for them to mention it or acknowledge it, but in silence, looks like they've been working on it. The flawless pool has been a hot topic. As I mentioned in the TLDR, I'm kind of neutral about it. I like it, sometimes even love it, and then other times I'm just kind of like, what's the point of this? This is going to take us to a point, maybe, where the flawless pool is gone. I will kind of miss it, but maybe there's some other changes being made, right? Because we have the FBMM and the other stuff with the matchmaking, whatever. That would just makes it like you don't need it anymore, right? Expect more information later in Season 19 as our goal is to have Trials Labs during Season 20. For the Year of Lightfall maps, we're going in depth. Hopefully, it's not just 3 maps. This past year, we saw the return of 2 Destiny maps, Eternity Vostok, 1 map from Destiny 1 Cathedral of Dusk, and a brand new set on Savathun's Throne World Disjunction. How many is that? 2 maps, Cathedral 3, and then Throne World 4. Much of our focus for this year of the map content was to give players some larger spaces, lanes for sniping, and a bit of range for pulse rifle scouts, and other ranged options, which they succeeded in. For the coming year, we're going to be bringing back 2 more maps from earlier Destiny 2, and we've just started a production on a new map, which we expect to be released in the Year of Lightfall. It seems like it is going to just be 3. That is very, very unfortunate. Let me finish reading. If you have some experience creating gameplay spaces and would like to join us in creating Destiny content, be sure to check out the careers page. Specifically, keep an eye out for World Art listings in the future. Wow. I'm not impressed. We went many months, years, with just lack of maps. This year, it still felt like it was just not enough when we got Eternity Vostok, Cathedral, and then Savathun Disjunction. I don't think I speak for myself when I say it did not feel enough at all. And we were hoping this was the start of something greater, especially when there were some tweets that Joe was mentioning about opening the valve and then pushing out more content. I wasn't expecting to go from 4 maps this year to next year down to 3. I'm disappointed. We gotta push for more maps, man. Even if it means having to take out some of the ones that exist right now, like funnel them out, put them in the DCV. You know, there's so many maps they're overdue to be gone. It's past their time, bro. Let me put it to you this way. 100% of the maps, maybe 95, in Destiny 2 when it launched, they were created with the idea of 4v4 Crucible. In Destiny 1, it was a little bit different. Most of the maps in Destiny 1 were created for the idea of 6v6 gameplay. And then there were some other maps created with the idea behind 3v3 gameplay, such as Cauldron, 6v6 being Rusted Lands, both Destiny 1 maps. Here in Destiny 2, maps like Eternity, Vostok, those are 4v4 maps, and they don't feel good. No matter how much they change the meta, like some maps are never going to feel good or be as good as they could be just because of how it was built in the first place. I don't see a day where Eternity is a map I'll be excited to play on, no matter what meta it is. It could be like the perfect meta in my mind. I'll still be like, I don't want to play Eternity. Some of you guys can relate. You see, Vostok is like, I don't care if I play Vostok and you give me 10 Ascendant Shards and the free Lighthouse trip. I don't like Vostok, right? So that's my 2 cents on that. You guys think what you will. Pretty disappointing. Nothing much else to be said. Competitive division. All right. They've been saving this for the last part. I think this is the last bit. They've been hyping it up. I've seen it throughout the TWAB. Competitive division. Ranks. Ascending. Like, what? Ascending to what? What are you guys talking about? Platinum. Like, what? After the changes to Trials of Osiris, Gambit, and Iron Banner of the last few seasons, we knew we had to take a look at our ranked player experience next. While the Glory playlist had been home to our core 3v3 skill-based offering for years, it had fallen behind in the rewards department since we sunset the pinnacle weapons and their quests in Beyond Light. Additionally, it was built onto a hybrid skill/persistence model to enable more players to get to the top ranks than you would normally expect on a bell curve. We knew we had to revisit the reward structure as well as fit the ranking system to more closely reflect player skill. We also wanted to create something that would be familiar to players of other competitive games in multiple genres while adding our own flair. Okay. Whoever wrote this, they're so good at writing. It's just like, I go from like, chill, and then it just gets so hyped, 0 to 100. Now, let me give you some examples of other competitive games that have like rank systems and stuff like that. That comes to my mind. Apex Legends has my favorite rank system that I've ever tried out. They have Rookie, Bronze, Gold, Silver, Platinum, Diamond, Master rank, which was the ultimate final rank, right? But then there's another rank in that rank that only, let's say, 1,000 players can have, and that is the Predator rank. Completely different look, and it's just so beast, bro. Just seeing those badges, the importance of the badges was so hype. So hype, in fact. I took my buddies, many seasons ago. This is like months, basically. Maybe last year. We've always played. We get back together for seasons. We play. We fight our way through the silver, platinum, and the diamond lobbies to achieve the master rank. Season after season, trying to fight for that. Sometimes we don't really have enough time to play for it. And it seems like we just stop at masters because of the time commitment required. It's not our main game. So unfortunately, never quite hit the pred rank. But it was aspirational. You had that icon, that rank in the back of your head. It's like, damn, man, I kind of want to get it, dude. I want it. You grind like one day thinking that you're actually going to make progress. But in reality is, you need more days than that. So what else? Valorant. Got to play Valorant in the early days. Me and some friends from Primal as well. Fought our way through the lower ranks, fighting our way to Diamond. I love the ranking system. So they said it's going to be familiar. Goals for the competitive division. All players can find a variety of balanced matches and feel competitive. A player's PvP division is a core part of their guarding identity. I like what you're saying. That is one major thing that I feel like was missing with the original competitive/survival playlist. There was no identity. They put it in the best words possible that I wasn't able to. There was just no identity in those ranks other than legend, and they should have been. People should be proud, like, hey, I'm a diamond player. Hey, I hit bronze these last 2 seasons, but I'm hoping to make the push for the next rank next season. I feel like I'm getting better, whatever, right? Maintain places in the ecosystem to not engage in rank play, but still have decently balanced matches, or to not engage in skill-based matchmaking at all. Not really sure what this means, but I understand the balanced matches. What is competitive division? Tell me! Season 19. 19? No way. It's next season already? We are removing glory and adding a 3v3 rank playlist competitive division, which is a true ladder-based. Hey! Hey, yo! You see this shit, Smokey?
Oh shit, bruh. You telling me they're in the ladder division, dog? Let me read that shit, bruh.
Let's dive into what this means, right? Why is the hype? Why is the energy, right? There's a lot of negatives, right? You were probably thinking you want to be the party pooper, right? The downer guy, whatever. It's like, oh, Frostbolt it's competitive. This game sucks, bro. You can die to a grenade every single time. Stop it. This is pretty much a hardcore PvPer's wet dream, right? Since Destiny 1, players have dreamed of having like more of a true competitive experience. We've had scrims existing since Destiny 1 all the way to this day. Throughout the life cycle, there's been really highs, some lows, and unfortunately, during these years of Destiny 2, competitive, vibe, stuff like that, it's at an all-time low, maybe even the lowest, right? The competitive vibe has always existed, and it will always exist no matter what game you play. When you think competitive, some people take it to the extreme and think like esports, $1 million on the line, super balanced. And the truth of it is that's not the case at all. Competitive is you just want to play good players. You want to feel that competition energy and that satisfaction of winning, of outplaying, of being better. And the game convincing you in your brain to think you should try hard enough to be better and beat them. Like you have that feeling of wanting to. This doesn't mean Destiny is going to go from one day, like ability spam, to the next day, Halo. No, that doesn't mean it at all. You have games like Fortnite, Rocket League. If you told me these games are going to be competitive, they're going to have tournaments, esports, I'd be like, yeah, bro. You seen that goofy game? There's no way, man. They got boogie bombs making people twerk. How is that game going to be comp? How are you going to make a rank system to that? Tell me Rocket League gets to be comp. They want to add like arenas and stuff like that. I'm like, bro, you seen that game? They're riding little Hot Wheels kicking a soccer ball. How is that game going to be comp, bro? No matter what game you play, people want to play to compete. They want to be better. They want to test how good they are for fun. Comp division seems like it's going to exactly be, that replayability. You play for fun. You test your skill. Core identity, right? Unfortunately, we have to be realistic at the same time, right? A lot of people have their own interpretation of competitive in their brain. As Destiny players, one player can be like, it's a competitive match when you're going up against 3 invisible hunters with Kepri Sting, 3 Lawrence drivers, right? You have that guy. And then you have the other guy, right, all the way across, saying, nah, man, no supers, no grenades, no sprinting, no jumping, right? No ADS, no comps, no radar, no HUD. That's real Destiny comp, right? And unfortunately, you can't really say any of them is really right or wrong. At the end of the day, Bungie decides what is comp in Destiny 2. I would hope it's really in the center, not too on the cheesy side and not too on the freaking hardcore basic side. When I got into Destiny 1, 2, whatever, I fell in love with PvP. And remember, what does that mean, falling in love with PvP? That means you fall in love with the movement, the abilities, the supers, and the gameplay, of course. So a lot of the players that are going to enjoy the competitive division, for the most part, are understanding that the abilities, the supers are part of the gameplay, but they shouldn't be too much of it. I personally would say, if you want supers and abilities to just not exist at all, then you don't really like Destiny as much as you may claim or think you do. You probably want a different game. Why do you play Destiny 2? Destiny 2, in my opinion, will never be like a Halo where it's literally just 100% guns only, right? That's just me being real. And on the other side, it's I also don't agree when there's players that think Destiny 2 PvP should be just more ability spam. That's the Destiny 2 PvP should be. No, it wasn't that in D1. And it wasn't that in start of D2. And why should it be that now? Of course, they get carried away with the ability spam. There's many factors for that, but they always come back, tone it down. There has to be a balance. Try to understand everybody's different point of view. And maybe try to understand yourself that I like Destiny 2 PvP for what it is. Sure, there might be some flaws. Maybe they have to rebalance that. We'll whine about it. Forward feedback, but it'll be fun. Another note to make about being real. Just because they get a competitive division doesn't mean that that day we're going to have all the bug fixes in the world made to Crucible. The sad reality is melee whiffs, in more detail basically, when you melee somebody, it locks on, but it does not actually do damage. That's not going to be fixed, right? Ghost bullets. When your reticle is dead center to somebody, and for whatever reason, it doesn't register, it's not going to be fixed. Maybe it will, but it won't be fixed. It doesn't mean, competitive division doesn't mean those things are going to be magically fixed, right? Doesn't mean they're going to go super hyper focused on the competitive and make it super fair and fix all the bugs. For all those hardcore PvPers, even average PvPers, you know, I'll tell you, I'll break your heart a little bit and let you be known, set your expectations accordingly, because I know what to expect. The double damage glitch. You shoot somebody one time, but that bullet counts for 2, it's a bug. It doesn't mean they're going to fix that. So let's do ourselves a favor and go into this with, you know, appropriate expectations. Let's make the best out of it, right? We got something good here. It's not perfect, but why I'm really a fan of this is because there's replayability and you get to feel that intensity of playing good players. And this is a huge treat for just hardcore PvPers. It's a huge treat. Oh, yo, look at these. Copper, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, adept, ascendant. Damn. Okay. It's a huge upgrade from the previous badges we had in competitive / survival. And the main reason for that is because look at these last 3 badges. Previously, like the only badge people really cared about was legend. But when you look at legend, there was no identity with the badges. There was no variation between them enough for me to be like, oh, when I see it, I know what it is, right? This is a much better improvement. Not perfect in my opinion. I do have some criticisms, but I think the improvements were made where it really matters. And that's towards the end right here. Platinum, adept, ascendant. I can easily differentiate them. Unfortunately, these like first 4 could have been better. They say copper, bronze, but it doesn't like, the identity there, it lacks identity in my honest opinion. I was saying it lacks the identity. I was hoping they would like do more for that. Our goal is to provide players with ladders to climb in divisions to achieve, giving a more accurate representation of skill than our current glory system. Players who surpass gold and begin to chip away at platinum, adept, and ascendant will represent some of the best Crucible players that our community has to offer. Let's talk a bit about how you climb the ladder. This is a higher level explanation of how things work. We'll be releasing a help article closer to launch to go a bit further in depth. At the start of the season, you will begin a placement series, during which you will not gain any division rating for the first 7 games. After the 7th game, you complete the placement matches series and are placed into a division based on skill. So we get placement matches W, making it feel really legit. For the first season, the highest you can be placed is gold 3. Alright, so for the super cracked players win every match, gold 3 is what you can expect to get the max. In future seasons, you'll be placed closer to your previous competitive division. Interesting. That's an interesting take, because I guess if I'm already ascendant, I just go back to like adept platinum, right? I guess that works. Yeah. As you continue to compete in the competitive division, your division rating is adjusted based on 4 major factors. Match outcome, whether you win or lose. Division inflation deflation, how far above or below your division is compared to your skill. Match performance, how well you performed on the match-to-match basis. That's a big one. That's a pain point for a lot of games with competitive modes in them, is that you may lose a match, but let's say you're popping off, right? You're slaying, you're doing everything you can, you're playing the OBJ, you're getting all the kills, but it's just not enough, and you lose. So that is still going to matter. Player to lobby skill delta, how your skill compares to everyone else in the match. As you earn and lose division rating, if you gain enough rating to move up between subdivisions, gold 2 to gold 1, you automatically enter the next subdivision. Same goes for moving down subdivisions. There's subdivisions. If you gain enough rating to move up the division, from gold 1 to platinum 3, you enter a promotion series where you must win 2 out of 3 games to be promoted to the next division. What? You gotta win 2 out of 3 games to get to the next division. Otherwise, you don't get promoted. Similarly, if you lose enough rating to move down a division from gold 3 to silver 1, you enter a relegation series where you must win 2 out of 3 games to remain in your Nice. That sounds hardcore. You're playing bad, like you're not improving. You don't belong in that rating. You're about to downgrade to the previous rank, you get a chance. You got to win 2 of those games. Prove to us that you belong being a platinum player. Upon reaching gold or higher, your division rating is subject to decay on a weekly basis. An example, you will lose division rating if you haven't played enough matches recently. Wow. You got some pressure to play. Also, we still have a small intro quest that will demonstrate the competitive division system and unlock a reward listed later in this TWAB. This quest must be completed once for each account and will be available from checks once you unlock Crucible as a new light or immediately for veteran players. Here we go, let's talk competitive division rewards, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before I read, I'm curious what they came up with as a reward, because on one side you have like no rewards, obviously doesn't incentivize players to play, and on the other side you have rewards that are too good, like not forgotten, that destroy the meta, right? Maybe the middle ground would be like ornaments, shaders, things that actually, you know, hardcore PvPers will care about, because if you put an emblem, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I will care at all unless it's an animated emblem. Since competitive division is aimed at drawing a close link between skill and division, we don't see division as something to really grind for rewards. Bruh. This whole game's about rewards, man. We don't want someone to feel pressured to play tons of games looking for a drop, all while your division rating drops and ruin your division standing. Bruh. I said not really grind. I mean, maybe there's still some. Instead, we want the primary motivator to be your actual division. Bruh. We aren't going to be adding any unique grind. Bruh! Outside of those, you can get any. Bro! And really focus our rewards on weekly participation in achieving higher divisions. Secondly, we're going to be very careful about giving out high performance rewards for achieving higher divisions. Since these divisions are highly tied to skill, some divisions will be completely unattainable to some players, no matter how much they try and play. Having some of the old pinnacle weapons set to glory has some unfortunate effects on players and led to eventually add numbers persistence features to the ranking system. I completely understand. To avoid that, we're going to initially keep rewards for achieving a higher division limited to efficiency rewards. Man, you almost had it, bro. There's still no guarantee that there won't be the things I'm thinking of in my head right now that I'll go into detail. Ways to show that you made the ranking, like, let's say, at bare minimum, an emblem, right? Shaders, ornaments, I don't know, I don't know, unique weapon ornament skins you can put to your legendary guns. Whatever gun you're using, like let's say IS Luna, you unlock a memento, and it's like this whole like super animated, sick ass, let's say platinum ascendant shader, right? You put it on. They miss like a big chunk of it, I have to be honest. You know, 1 through 10, and when I was reading, it was going up higher and higher, 6, 7, 8. And then the rewards section really brought me down, you know, a couple notches. I feel like it's important to have the rewards. I mean, we're playing Destiny 2. Dude, is important. I mean, come on, you got people grinding patrols, and they want an emblem out of a patrol. They want rewards out of a patrol, right? I'm going to mention previous games, other competitive games, because they themselves mentioned it, that this should feel familiar, right, to other competitive games. When you go to Apex Legends, what do you get when you're starting to hit those ranks? You get a badge, which could be an emblem in this game, mind you. We still don't know. Okay, you know what? Apex might not have any rewards. You get a charm? Apex doesn't give you shit. All right, that's a terrible example. But it's Destiny 2 loot, okay? Let me go to Halo Infinite. When you hit Onyx rank, you get a weapon charm. You get an Onyx weapon charm. You get a shader and an emblem. I don't know of anything else. I forgot what Valorant gives you. Does Valorant give you anything? So I guess what I'm getting at here is that Destiny 2 had the biggest reason to add rewards, and it didn't have to be anything crazy. They had a trial and error situation before, like they have experience, right? They have years of experience to say, this is what happens when we have no rewards. This is what happens when our rewards are too good. Why don't you just meet the middle? Ornament shaders, I don't know, mementos. Pretty passionate about this. I'm really disappointed in that regard. And I think many people will be disappointed, but again, there might be a chance that the rewards are still, you know, hidden that we might not know. Maybe in the future, if feedback is loud enough, which I hope it is, we can start getting some things like that. I think mementos would be perfect because we already get those for Trials of Osiris. All right, let me keep reading. Your current division gives you a multiplier in all Crucible ranks, reputation, and Destiny, letting you earn more Crucible engrams, resets, and extra personal weapons much faster. That's not enough for me. So that's how they tried to incentivize grinding in those modes, I guess. Those are your rewards. Which would be great if, I suppose, you care about the extra perks, right? You care about the Crucible engrams. Okay, look, here's where the disconnect is at. I understand now. The disconnect is that, who is this mode catering to? We can safely say the hardcore PvPer, right? Do you think the hardcore PvPer is going to be like, oh God, thank goodness I get more Crucible engrams so I can get another Riptide that I already got before because I play a lot of PvP. I'm a hardcore PvPer, remember? I've got a ton of those engrams. So why do I care about this? Unless, I mean, maybe the saving grace here could be that, let's say, Survivor's Epitaph, Riptide, Out of Bounds, all the previous Crucible weapons, they get a new perks introduced, right? They get like half of them removed, let's say that. And then they get a bunch of extra new perks that come out with new seasons, new expansion. Now we're talking. Season drops, competitive division, and you're telling me, I don't know, let's say, for example, the Sorrow's Verse auto rifle from Crucible now has a chance to drop with the Onslaught perk that the Breaknet saw. I don't know if this is balanced or even makes sense, but it's just kind of like the idea behind it. And I'm like, okay, now I care. I get more Crucible engrams, I get more perks, better chance of getting previous gun that's like old already, but it has new crazy perks that I might care for. But then again, that's kind of giving into the issue we had where it's like unattainable, but it's not at the same time because you can still get those guns even if you play quick play, right? Right. So even if you aren't great at PvP, jumping into competitive division and keeping your rank up will help you earn Crucible rewards 10 to 20% faster now. This bonus stack multiplicatively with both the scheduled bonus ranks weeks and the hidden bonus in Crucible Labs. As a note, we are reducing bonus week Crucible rank multipliers from 2.0 to 1.5 in Season 19. Our goal in the above changes is to reduce the need to wait for bonus ranks weeks to get the most out of your Crucible playtime. With the added bonuses provided by divisions, 95% of players will be earning more reputation over the course of the season than what's currently available. We'll be keeping a close eye on this change to ensure that it isn't any major negative impact on the rewards that players are earning. We have also moved Unique Glory Playlist rewards. Mida Multi-Tool Catalyst is now available as a rare drop in any win in the Crucible. One of the best rewards you can get from competitive division is right in the name, your competitive division, which you have earned throughout the season. Lets you know where you will actually sit on the hierarchy of players better than KDA, win percentage, and third-party ELO ranking ever could. I like that. Okay, now you're hyping me up. That's why you have to say that, Bungie. Now you're gassing it up. If you keep talking like that, maybe I'm going to be on your side. For our weekly participation rewards mentioned above, we're bringing an old favorite back. That's right, Rose is back for competitive division. Rose was originally a legendary hand cannon earned during the Lumina Exotic Quest. It has a long history in Destiny, which it was corrupted, then redeemed, and now returns with random rolls with an updated perk pool. Wait, hold on, chat. So, is this saying that Rose is only in competitive division? Oh, that is sick. So we actually get something. So everybody can get it. Higher ranks get more and more perks. Okay. It's a solid, nice little treat. I went on that rant for no reason, kind of. Not for no reason, but I suppose now after reading that, I feel a little bit more calm. Now, the next thing to soak in is that we're getting a reissued gun called Rose. I'm a bit conflicted because I really like this hand cannon. I even made a video vouching for this gun to return, but I know many of you guys probably agree with the sentiment that we would have much rather have a brand new actual gun. This is not a case where it's like, wow, they bring you this, they give you that, and you're still not happy. No, it's just more like it could have been much better. It's not that it's bad, it's just it could have been, better, right? What's saving this as a reward in its defense is that in its first introduction in Destiny 2, we didn't have random perks on it. And then when we went to Lumina, people forgot about Rose, but people loved Rose a lot more because it felt better. It was a beautiful hand cannon, something about the clean, basic aesthetic. So now when it comes with actual perks, it really might just feel like a brand new gun since we didn't really give it much playtime, correct? So we'll give it a W. Hybrid. Fires like a 140 RPM hand cannon, but allows you to move like a 150 and has stats that blend the two. People are going to be a big fan of that. For all those people that miss the 150 hand cannons, you're going to feel like you have one, but it's not going to shoot like one. I'll be honest, I wouldn't get too hyped up about it because if you use Thorn, it feels like a 150, but it shoots like a 140. And that's not really anything to be excited about, Thorn is not that popular anymore, and the people that do use Thorn miss it being a 150. Another weapon I can bring to the conversation is Sunshot, which is the only 150 RPM hand cannon in the game right now. Feels like a 150. It is a 150. Not a popular hand cannon whatsoever inside of Crucible. Its perk list is built from popular consistency perks designed to highlight 3v3 play, random rolled grips instead of an origin trait. How do you earn it though? When you complete your competitive division intro quest, one per character, you get a drop with the perk selection rows originally had. After the intro quest, you have a character-based weekly competitive division challenge to earn another role. That's it. Play competitive division, earn one role a week per character. What? So you can't farm it? Oh, dude. Okay, so no, the rant wasn't for no reason. It still holds some place, right? I went from like, I didn't like it from a scale 1 to 10, I didn't like it at 10, right? And then the rows, I was like, okay, you know, back to like a 4 now. And then this one per character, I'm back to like higher to the 10, near the 10. It's something though. It's gonna keep bringing us back every week, right? I know I will. I gotta start up next week and be like, yo, I gotta get my 3 rose hand cannons. Let me go hop on my Titan, on my Hunter, and what's that third character called? Oh, Warlock. I forgot you guys existed, man. You guys got like 10% usage in Crucible right now. A weekly tradition will be fun. Every Tuesday reset. Oh, I can see it. The tradition for Tuesday reset. Hopping into rank, get my 3 rose hand cannons. Yeah. Future reward updates. We aren't done here. In the season's post-Lightfall, we're expecting to get further cosmetic rewards for competitive division. Whoa, 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 whoa! Thank goodness. Everything I mentioned about the rewards, ornaments, cosmetics, whatever, they're already thinking about it. Yes, it's not going to be present when it comes out, so it's still relevant, but at least we know those issues is something they considered and will be trying to fix in post-Lightfall. So, W for that. We are still working out the details of what you can earn, when you can start earning them, and how you can earn them. Expect more discussion at the Lightfall. And with that, we have come to an end of our Crucible update preview. We have a little bit of something for everyone, and maybe even a lot for something for everyone. No doubt there are some thoughts and feelings being shared among your Discord servers and text to friends already, but we'll be watching the conversation as all of these changes roll out. Solid TWAB, Crucible TWAB, some good changes happening. I like what I read. Competitive division has me pretty amped up, to be honest. I'm gonna be grinding that, right? My face might not show it, maybe my excitement doesn't show it, but the moment I get that division available to me, I'm gonna love sinking in hours into that. I know a lot of the PvPers, especially the hardcore type, do like a lot of these changes, but you know, some honest thoughts is that there's still like some main issues not being addressed. That sucks. But this might not be the 12 for it. It could be a different 12. They're saving it for that. And just a quick glimpse of what I'm even referring to. Airborne effectiveness, man. The game doesn't feel the same in a bad way since airborne effectiveness. I gave them the benefit of the doubt. It's almost like they just forgot to update airborne effectiveness anymore. Like they just left it. They're like, okay, we're done with this. We're moving along. We're gonna forget about it. No, man. It doesn't feel good. That's mine that I can bring to the table. And I know many of you guys in the community can also bring your own thoughts, feelings to the table about what this 12 didn't mention, that you're like, okay, this 12 was great. Crucible has some good changes, but let's not kid ourselves. It's not like all the things that we needed have been answered. There's still much more. One of those 12s where they take 2 steps forward and actually not take a step back, right? So for that, I give it a W12 for sure. You know, competitive division, we got rewards, rows, trials changes, solo queue players experience is going to improve, skill-based changes being mentioned, Iron Banner from Taking King coming back, the armor set, new mode. Yeah, good steps forward, that's for sure. All right, that was a good read.